gonna do it? You said I was cursed. Is it only because I'm not like you? No. But at least I know the truth now.
Long way from home, aren't you? And here I thought, oh, Kyle, you're supposed to be so enlightened, so much better than us.
The gods of these realms don't take kindly to outsiders, trust me. When they find you, they make things different.
Right here. I will handle this. Well, that was something, that fight.
Not everyone's bad. Mother always said to me nobody loves me.
These boys are the best witches. It's easy.
be of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil, 'cause I'm blind to it all. In my mind, my gun, they come from me, 'cause I know I'll kill my enemies when they come. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell on this earth forevermore. Said I walk beside the still waters, and they restore my soul, but I can't walk on the path of the right, because I'm wrong. I can't walk on the path of the right, 'cause I'm wrong.
What are you doing, kiddo? You really gonna go through with this? What are you doing, kiddo?
I'm gonna find and I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
else is here.
Jumpsuit. Slimming.
Stay out of my business.
Wait, the demons. Who's their leader?
Keep my men alive and maybe I'll tell you.
Saving bad guys from other bad guys. Not how I thought today would go. Your men are safe. Your turn. Who runs the demons?
You're about to find out. Check the roof.
Mr. Okay, let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN's coverage of Sony's press conference from Paris Games Week. I'm Jamin Hatfield. I'm joined by Marty Sleva and a lot of peers.
Everybody.
And if you're here on the West Coast with us, we know it's very early, so thanks for getting up with us bright and early this morning to check out what Sony has to show off this year. It's been a couple years since Sony did a conference from this show. It's been 2 years.
Yeah, since 2015.
And that was a big one.
Yeah, there were lots of big announcements that year, and a few reasons to be excited for this morning's presentation. Sony has hinted heavily that this will be another big show today.
Yeah, they said E3 was the first half of the story.
Yeah.
This is the second half.
Yeah.
It's really interesting timing with PSX later in the year. So,
Exactly.
we wonder if they'll hold things or if they won't have an official conference for PSX.
Sure.
So there's some interesting stuff going around here, but I think we'll probably get release dates is a huge thing. There's a lot of games that they announced at E3 that we still don't have release dates for, so.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so this is what we've got coming up for you this morning. In about 28 minutes, the Sony conference will begin, and they're going to start things off with about an hour-long presentation of some smaller games and announcements. 21 announcements, 7 brand new games for PS4 and PSVR.
Yeah, this is a very similar setup they had to E3. Before their big conference, they had a smaller thing where they talked about Knack 2, they talked about Everybody's Golf, that's where we got Undertale coming to PS4.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't want to undersell that because we need more indies, I think. I think PlayStation could use a lot of cool indies, so hopefully we see some really cool stuff.
I just want Golf Story.
Golf
Story.
Just talk about Golf Story. That's all I want.
You have it Everybody's Golf.
I know, but I need
Witness
Everybody's
2.
Golf Story.
So they'll spend about an hour on those 21 announcements, and then they'll kick off they'll bring in the big guns.
Yep.
After that. That could be anything from God of War. What else is coming? Days Gone. Spider-Man.
Detroit doesn't have a release date yet.
Yeah.
I think Detroit was announced at the last big Paris Games.
They had a big showcase
right,
at
yeah.
That was where it was revealed.
Yeah, and so a lot of times this is where Sony focuses on European studios. So expect to see some stuff from Guerrilla with the Horizon expansion, also Detroit, also maybe Wild comes back, maybe Dreams.
Wild and Dreams have been missing since that conference. And I saw gameplay of those because I went to Paris Games Week that year.
Wow.
And it's like having them be dead since then is so weird. I really want more Dreams. I was super intrigued by that. And especially if it has PSVR tie-in confirmed, that'll be really cool to see.
Yeah, Dreams is one of those games that every time Sony holds another conference, we're like, are they bringing Dreams back? Are we going to see Dreams again?
Yeah, I feel like it was that same joke we had with whatever Sony Ben's game was before Days Gone. We were like, this is it. It's going to be this. And then after 7 years, it was like, yep, okay, it's here finally. We did it.
But also, what if we got Bloodborne 2?
That's the thing. I know.
About that?
That's the thing
That'd
that
be cool.
a lot of people want.
Yeah.
Our article announcing this conference is just filled with people saying they want Bloodborne 2.
And that was the Old Hunters was showcased at the last Paris Games Week. So that was pretty much the last time Bloodborne was on a stage.
So it's been a couple years.
It's hard to believe
It's
it's
been a
been 2 years. Yeah,
Well, fans of the genre.
yeah, exactly.
Let's begin by recapping Sony's killer first half of the year. This has been another really strong year for Sony and PS4, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe start with Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I mean, that's
the biggest PS4 game of the year.
Yeah, that's when talking about PlayStation in 2017, that's sort of the game you probably have to start with because this is Sony's big Game of the Year contender. This was that game that, if it weren't for Zelda, I feel like this is the game we would have been talking about all throughout the first
You're
half
absolutely
of 2017.
right. The timing around Zelda really hurt it, but it is an incredible game that I don't actually know anyone who doesn't like it.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's such a gorgeous world, such a smart, open world filled with cool characters, interesting environments, and the combat's so good.
Enemies.
Yeah.
And really interesting characters as well.
Yeah.
And I think the lore in it's just so well fleshed out. That world is like, it just throws you into it. It doesn't explain too much, and you just kind of get an understanding of these characters and the trials they go through and the kind of religion they have.
Yeah,
I like a
totally.
whole lot, and I think the DLC looks great.
Yeah, and we're seeing Frozen Wilds here. One interesting thing is, this is all they've shown from the Frozen Wilds, and it's supposed to be out in, 2 weeks.
November 7th is the release
That's
date.
10 days away, which, I don't know. So part of me is like, maybe they're just going to go big here, or...
I don't think that they should, though. You know, I think that a lot of people... I think this has been advertised well, just even based on this. A lot of people know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't think that they should spend too much time on it right now, because I know exactly what to expect of it, having played Horizon Zero.
Unless, pessimistic hot take, it gets delayed until next year.
Well, there was that news story about they're having trademark troubles with it.
Yeah.
The trademark was blocked because it was too similar to a mobile, like, slot machine game.
Yeah.
So if they have to change the name...
It was like Frozen Wild or something.
Yeah,
like just
exactly.
something slightly similar.
Yeah.
So if they have to change the name, that's like all sorts of things that have to be changed with the game, with the actual code. The title screen hasn't changed.
No, exactly. Yeah, we'll see though. That looks, the game looks awesome though.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's supposed to be out November 7th. And then the complete edition of Horizon Zero Dawn was supposed to be out December 5th, which was to include the Frozen Wilds.
Yeah.
So if that expansion is being delayed, I would imagine the complete edition would have to be pushed back as well.
Yeah, same.
I hope it doesn't get delayed.
I hope not.
Also, wouldn't it be sad to announce that at this conference? Be like, here's all this great stuff. Also, this is delayed. Bye.
Sorry, bye. That's the last thing, yeah.
Yeah, they would probably like show another trailer and then at the end, coming early 2018 or
Please be
something.
excited. Yeah.
But that's not, Horizon Zero Dawn is a huge game and awesome exclusive for Sony, but it's not the only big game that PS4 has gotten this year. Nier Automata was a big exclusive, big surprise hit this year, I think.
I played 50 hours of that game.
Wow.
Great game.
Several hours.
Yeah, it's a very long game, and it's also, because of the way that game is packaged, in that there are effectively 5 or 6 endings that are kind of compulsory and feel like different games contained in themselves. I think that you could very, very easily bring out DLC for this game that would perfectly make sense, because 2 of those playthroughs are completely unrelated to the first 2, and in that they almost feel like DLC. It's funny, Nia has basically the sequel to the game packaged in the game. It's like completely different stories, so they could release DLC for this super easily, I think. And
I mean, it's also interesting that this is just like a tale of two cities when it comes to Platinum this year. Like, they had obviously the cancellation of Scalebound on Xbox, but then they released this game, which, was critically and commercially super successful. So
I absolutely loved it. I think it's pretty ugly, but aside from that, it's not great to look at, but aside from that, it's just
Shirtless boys seem nice.
crazy. The Shirtless boys are pretty nice. Adam and Eve, and it's intense, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on here. This like really philosophical robot story that's just crazy.
And that music.
Yeah.
They haven't announced any new content for it yet, though, have they?
They haven't.
Nothing that we're expecting.
No. They had like the weird DLC where you fought like the CEO of Square in an arena.
And it was a pretty long time between the Nier that came out last generation and Automata, so I would be surprised if there is new content, but I don't think it's off limits. They could do it, and I don't think it would hurt the franchise at all. So.
Agreed.
And then there is also Persona 5.
That's a big one.
A game that you may have heard of.
Yep.
With your good friend Andrew Goldfarb.
I put 100 hours in Persona 5.
Yeah, I put like 5 in Persona 5.
I don't think this is a competition. I don't know why I'm doing that. But yeah, Persona 5 is currently my game of the year, which is saying something again, given how like awesome 2017 has been. Sure. But from Persona, I don't think we're going to see a lot of Persona 5 per se, but they have announced that coming to Japan are those 2 dancing games. So there's the Persona 3 dancing game and the Persona 5 dancing game, and so maybe we'll get news that they're coming to the West. Also, 6 months ago, if you would have told me I'd be excited for the Persona 5 dancing game coming to the West, I would have made fun of me.
That's pretty high up on a list of stuff I don't care about. I'm sure they could make it cool, but...
But look, he got punched and he's going to dance his way out of it.
Is he?
Maybe.
Is that how that works?
I don't know.
No, I think Persona 5 has been a huge hit internationally, is the thing. So they'd be crazy not to cash in on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, I just want to talk about Persona.
It's really good.
It's really good.
So good. That Crash Insane Trilogy was a big hit this summer.
Yeah.
Sold a lot of copies of that.
Yeah, and it just sort of, it tapped into that perfect nostalgia sweet spot where, like, people who grew up with it like us were playing it, but then a lot of kids were playing it for the first time and being like, oh, games were hard back then.
Back at VidCon in, I think that was in June or July, I was walking around asking people what PlayStation game they were most excited for, and I would say legitimately 90% of people said Crash. I was like, are you serious?
I love that, yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me. Like, they could have said anything, and they all said Crash. Like, this is... when they announced it, I was excited on a nostalgia basis, which is what I assumed most people were. But there were people who had never played Crash who were like, I finally get to play it. And it's a huge... characters. I like the world. It just doesn't feel like totally distinct.
Yeah, it does some really
Something like
interesting things. Like I think the most interesting thing they've showed off is I think they've shown off this exact level, this demo before, but it plays completely different if it's raining compared to it can be snowing. There can be snow everywhere.
You can also take completely different paths.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
So,
it's just also I think one of the problems is zombie fatigue.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're freakers. They're not zombies. You will be corrected if you call them zombies. Freaker fatigue. But,
what are they called in Last of Us? They're not zombies.
They're
infected, maybe?
I call them the cordyceps.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, when we have stuff like The Last of Us, obviously we have State of Decay on Xbox, The Walking Dead, it just seems like a couple years ago, this might have hit harder than it does now.
Yeah, which is weird because it still looks great.
Oh, totally.
It's just people aren't as sold on it because there are other things that look vaguely similar to it. So maybe today they show us, you guys are super wrong, and this game is totally different, and we just haven't seen that yet. But I still think it looks really good. It's just that I'm not super hyped on it.
I think it's cool that it takes place in the Pacific Northwest. That's not apparently now The Last of Us does as well.
Yeah.
But that's just that's a setting that we don't get a lot in games. We get California, we get New York, but we don't really get this a lot.
I also just love that kind of environment opens up a lot of different opportunities for whether it's snowing or whether it's hot or whether it's rainy, because Seattle goes through a million seasons.
Yep.
Yeah.
A game that was revealed at E3 this year is a remake of Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
The best games of all time.
Yes.
And then we got another trailer for that at TGS. I wonder if we get a release date for that today.
I think I could also see this being a first half of the year game. If Spider-Man and maybe if God of War gets pushed or Days Gone is later on in the year, that this could be one that comes out a little bit earlier, just by virtue of the fact that the game was already made and that they just needed a really talented studio like Blue Point to sort of do the touch-ups.
I was sort of the impression that this would be a fair way away, just because I feel like this is very difficult.
Yeah.
It's a big game, and it looks very good. I don't think this is something they do super easily. So I was kind of expecting it to be later half of the year, but you're right, it would make more sense from a marketing perspective for them to do it early.
Yeah.
Just so it doesn't have to go
but part of me thinks this game has been in development a long time and that they just revealed it late. Because you saw the Japan Studio logo at the beginning. Japan Studio in the last 12 months has released 5 games, I want to say, from The Last Guardian to Gravity Rush to Everybody's Golf to Knack to GT Sport. And so that frees up so much from that team, and so you're wondering, obviously they have this that they're working on in conjunction with Blue Point, but what else do they have?
It's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's some of what we see announced.
We see today, But man, I'm really excited about this.
I'm so
super
excited about it.
Yeah.
I haven't played it since it came out, and when it came out, I was pretty young.
And the idea of them cleaning up the frame rate and the controls a little bit and making a more streamlined experience just seems awesome. And also, these Colossi are going to be terrifying.
Absolutely. I'm just really excited for people who haven't ever played it to be able to play it now, because it's such a good game.
Yeah, same.
All right, we are just about 10 minutes away from the start of Sony's show. Some of you may see an ad right now, but stick with us. We are taking you right up to the beginning of the big conference this morning. Now, there are a bunch of games that were just flat out missing from E3 this year. Games that we haven't seen in a long time. Games like Death Stranding. I think the last time we saw that was at the Game Awards last year.
Yeah.
December.
That was the Mads Mikkelsen
reveal.
Yeah,
that game's forever away.
Yes.
Someone tweeted at me and was like, do you think that we're going to see a release date for Death Stranding? I was like, no, I don't. I really don't. Another thing I'll put my foot down on is we don't get a release date for Death Stranding.
There's a solid chance that the planet doesn't exist anymore by the time this game comes.
Hey, maybe we'll see gameplay. I think it's unlikely, though.
I think it's unlikely, and
they could keep giving us trailers like this, and I would eat them up. They keep giving me this stuff, and
I would totally
keep watching
it. Honestly, I don't think we're going to see anything from this game this year. I think
we might see Metal Gear Survive.
They've shown us, not a lot, but they've shown us, I think very early on some things, and I think they want to pull back a little bit and focus on development, because we did a profile of the new Kojima offices, and the offices are amazing, but they have not staffed up that studio yet. So the game has not gone into full all-out production yet, so I don't think this game
I think we just have to approach this game so differently to anything else, because it's Kojima unhinged.
Yeah.
It's okay, I can see this being him just wanting to make 2 really weird trailers and just bask in people's confusion and hype, and then be like, we make these first, and then maybe we make a game.
Yeah.
He's just one step at a time. We could keep getting short story trailers that are super weird.
No, totally.
Don't get a game for 5 years.
And on the off chance we do get something this year, he's had such a tight relationship with Jeff Keighley in the Game Awards for the last decade that if we see anything, we would see it there. Oh, look at that Babby.
It's a real good
Don't look at that Babby. It's weird.
Guillermo del Toro's first Babby.
We mentioned Last of Us Part 2 earlier. That was revealed at PSX last year.
Yeah.
But nothing since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
we've had
like a
those.
poster.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. We had the poster for the Infection Day or whatever it's called, or not Emergence Days, Gears of War. But yeah, we had the thing with like the wolf in the arm. Again, I think this game is very far away. I don't think we're going to be seeing anything from it today.
I really want to see it. It's been a year, especially if they're not going hard on PSX or even having the press conference at PSX at all. I want to see gameplay for this today.
Yeah.
I would be fine if it was a minute or even just another trailer at the very end of the conference just to keep people excited because they haven't seen it in a year and everyone wants it. So I want to see more of this today. I don't expect this game to be out until 2019.
No, totally.
It's hard to say. I kind of feel like we will see something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I said it at E3. I feel like they should have saved the reveal and not done it at PSX last year, and they should have done it at E3. This should have been their and one more thing and ended their E3 conference with this. I feel like it would have made their E3 a stronger show.
Yeah, I wonder how they choose between what they're showing and which thing. It's an interesting conversation to have.
What's done?
Yeah,
maybe.
and like again, if they do a PSX conference this year, which hasn't been announced, well, what are they going to show there?
Totally.
Do they keep it to The Last of Us there? It's really hard to say.
Yeah, and we don't know how like the departure of Bruce Straley, who was integral with Neil Druckmann into the first game, he left the studio after a sabbatical, so we don't know how that's going to affect the development of this at all.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely probably that and Spider-Man, I'd say, are probably the most anticipated upcoming PS4 games.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hardest thing is you could say any two of like five, and you'd be right. You could say Death Stranding and God of War, and you'd also be right.
Well,
that's true.
What about that Final Fantasy VII remake? That's a game we haven't heard
Oh, man.
long time.
Yeah.
Does that still exist?
I mean, earlier this year, they brought development back in-house at Square Enix.
Yeah, so
it was
CyberConnect, who does like the Naruto games and did the Dot Hack games. But they brought it back internally, and so we don't know if that means some of the Final Fantasy 15 folks who, obviously that core Final Fantasy 15 team that shipped the game knows how to pull a game out of development hell and finish it. Like Tabata-san knows how to finish a game because they did that with Versus 13. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really intrigued to see if we'll actually see anything else from this game because we know it's episodic and I don't.
Which doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like I wonder if they're changing that, and that's why we haven't heard about it in a while. Because how do you make Final Fantasy VII episodic? But I mean, fans want this so bad. They want to see something from this so bad.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it's an easy win. I also think this one's really far away, so I wouldn't be shocked if we didn't see it. But it'll definitely be a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
Earlier in the show, we were talking about Media Molecule's Dreams.
Yeah.
And is it true it's been 2 years since we've seen this game?
They've done.
They do live streams.
They do live streams every once in a while, but I think it's been 2 years since they were on stage.
On a conference. Yeah, it was.
And remind us what this game even is.
So this is Media Molecule, the folks who did Little Big Planet and Tearaway, and this is a giant creation tool where you are sculpting.
This game is a social network. That's what it is. It is you can make whatever you want, and you can see what other people have made, and you follow people who've made cool things. You can make your own games. You can make a short film. You can take a tool someone else has created, and then build on top of it. It is the quote that I was given. They were like, "Don't tell anyone that we told you this, but what if you called it like Facebook on crack?" Is exactly what I was told.
I will be honest, you really broke that.
I didn't say who said it. It's fine. But basically, it's the idea that you can just make whatever you want and share it with everyone. And
I like these bears.
seeing it's all really unsettling because of the way things are designed, the way the tools work. It's all really creepy, but I am very sold on this. And there's a lot of work that they have to do to make sure that it ships with that content already there so that people don't just start it and on day one there's no content.
Yeah, they've said they're working on a single-player campaign.
Which could be amazing.
Which I don't know
what this is.
Yeah, if like every level or every mission is a giant, just like, you go from zombies to Blade Runner to the Coca-Cola bears.
Yes, and they could absolutely do that. You have the option to link people's worlds together and stuff. Like, seeing this in person, I was very impressed by it. They also had a bunch of 3D printed models of things people had made, so there's a tie-in with that. There's just such a big community focus that they need to have the padding before it ships.
I mean, and again, UK-based developer, Media Molecule, so I could totally see them.
This would be a good place.
Yeah.
Dreams wasn't announced as a VR game, was it?
They've never said it's for VR, but it seems, especially with such like prominent move support, like it totally seems.
I wonder if that's why development's taking a little bit longer than turning it into a VR game.
Yeah. I really hope so.
Sony has said they will be debuting new PSVR games this morning.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, for folks like Max and Brian who have PSVRs and love PSVR, like I really want to see what they have to show for 2018.
Yeah. We're about 4 minutes out. Give me some quick takes on Wild. That's a game we haven't seen in two years.
Yeah, same thing. I saw a behind closed doors demo of this, and it is very weird. And you go around, you make friends with different animals. You have to take down camps with certain animals in them. It's just interesting now that we have Assassin's Creed Origins where you can befriend animals. Far Cry, like there's a lot of games that are similar to this, or bigger games that have the same kind of shtick.
Yeah.
So I think this has to have developed quite a bit since.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing, though, is, this is Michel Ancel, the same dude who is behind Beyond Good and Evil 2, and so this is not a Ubisoft game, this is a side project, and so really in the same year, are we going to see Beyond Good and Evil 2 come back as whatever the hell that game is, because we saw that BCD, and that was a weird one.
Yeah.
And then also see this game come back, and I don't know, I would love to, again, French developer, and given that it's been 2 years since they showed it there, I would love to see more, because the world seems super interesting, and there's bears.
Yeah, either this game has been updated a lot, or it doesn't come out. It's one of those two things. We have no idea where it's at right now, but I'm very interested in it.
Same.
And it seems like a really, really big world, and it seems very dynamic, and the fact that you can have it from so many different perspectives. You can play as a snake if you want. Like, that's cool.
Sure,
Never
I
played
do
as
want.
a snake in a game before. Like, I bet that's an interesting perspective.
There's a game called Snake Pass.
Yeah, you never play Snake
Oh,
Pass?
that's true. The
Yeah.
Snake Pass does exist. I'm sorry I lied to you all. That's my bad.
I'm hearing the Sony conference is delayed just a few minutes. They should be
Okay.
starting about 5 minutes after the hour, but stick with us. As soon as the conference begins, we will throw you right over to them. We were musing about Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
A Bloodborne 2, a possible Bloodborne 2 earlier on the show.
Yeah.
That's something people want. Or they want more Souls. They just want more Souls
They just
somehow.
want From Software.
Well, yeah, a new From Software IP or Bloodborne. I think the Bloodborne 2 hype is bigger than the Souls hype at this point.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, they've also said Dark Souls 3 was the conclusion of their Souls trilogy. And if you played that game, especially the DLC, like, it ties in a lot of stuff from the first Dark Souls game, and it does feel like if this is the end of that world and that lore, it made sense.
Yeah.
Whereas Bloodborne, like, Yharnam is so ripe for exploring all the weird nooks and crannies of that world and this strange religion and sort of celestial cult.
Yeah.
And, Bloodborne was one of those early successes on PS4. That was one of those exclusives that was like, hey, this is why you need to buy a PS4.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That was the point where it was like, here's an excuse to buy this hardware that just came out. Like, go for it. This game is great. And it was absolutely a huge hit. And everyone wants Bloodborne 2. I feel like it's inevitable.
Well,
it's going to happen.
And we know FromSoft has, their studios expanded so much in the last couple of years, and we don't know what they're working on, because they shipped Dark Souls 3, and then they have several projects in development, none of which have been announced.
Was early last year?
It was early last year,
yeah. It's been a while.
It's been a while, and so, I've heard some rumors that possibly, Sony owns the Bloodborne IP, so maybe it's in conjunction with Japan Studios, so maybe they're doing that again. Maybe we see a spiritual successor to Armored Core, which was also Miyazaki.
I really like Armored Core. I'd be cool with that too.
Well, Square Enix just announced that new game set in the... Oh, no, I'm thinking Front Mission.
Front Mission.
But it's working with people from Armored Core.
Yeah, which is all very confusing. So, yeah.
Well, I wonder, what was that game called? Last something?
Survive.
Last Survive.
You guys really nailed that.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, stuck the landing.
What about, what's that game? Code Vein?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We have a couple big Japanese games we know coming out next year. We have Code Vein, which we did an IGN First for, which is, again, it looks like a sort of anime,
I think it's really pretty.
vampire-based, Soulsy game. Again, game looks really cool. And then we also had, you mentioned sort of passingly, but Metal Gear Survive got a release date for next year.
Oh yeah, I think we
February
probably
release
will
date.
see Metal Gear Survive today because people need to be sold on it. But
Well, we just got a release date for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we don't.
February.
And it seems like when they've shown the game, it's also people just go in with this internal bias of like bringing in oh my God, look what you did to Kojima, you took PT away from us.
Konami's not in a great position publicly.
No,
is the
totally.
thing. But it's also, if they marketed this as more like just a crazy Left 4 Dead, then they might have a little more success with it. So we just need to see some more gameplay.
Do you think? My gut with this game is that they're going to add a battle royale mode.
To which game?
Would not be
To
surprised
Metal
by
Gear
that.
What are we talking about
To
now?
Metal Gear Survive.
That would make sense.
So I think there will be no less than 3 battle royale modes showcased today.
Yeah, that's accurate. Now, what do you think Sucker Punch is up to?
Man,
What are those boys working on?
that's they're at a point where I'm like, all right, you got to be far along in development on something.
Yeah, they do. They have to be.
Is it
I mean, Infamous, we were talking about
Is it another Infamous? Is it
Yeah.
something else?
I'd play another Infamous. Like, I don't necessarily think so, though.
I mean, we were talking about Bloodborne being an early PS4 game. Second Son was way before Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Second Son was the first great game for PS4 in my mind.
Yeah.
And then they released Last Light.
Last Light, yeah.
First Light.
First Light, one of those two.
One of the lights.
Yeah.
There's somewhere.
There's a lot of things that have lost in the title. We're getting very
Sure.
confused.
But Sucker Punch has
Of
always
us.
been so associated with PlayStation with the Crash Bandicoot Sly Cooper series, and then with the Infamous games. So I would love to see what they're working on. And honestly, man, just tease it, show us, even if it's in the Infamous world or if it's not. I also was hoping that they would partner with Marvel on an actual superhero game.
That would be very cool.
They know how
I think that's very unlikely.
They know how to do superheroes, and we know Marvel is sort of giving out the IP to talented devs like Insomniac and Square.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we did just get a new trailer for Dragon's Crown Pro last week, and we're still waiting on a release date for us for that game. Only the Japan release date has been announced.
I get given PS4 success, I can't imagine any of these games staying just Japan only.
No, I don't think so.
And then we're seeing a lot of games from last gen, come back to current gen. Like we're getting Okami at the end of the year, which is awesome.
So exciting.
2 gens ago.
So stoked about that.
But yeah, Dragon's Crown was another one of those games that came out relatively late in the PS3 lifestyle that everyone who played it really liked it, but not a ton of people played it. So I feel like at this point, like releasing it early next year would totally be a win.
Yeah, well, we're standing by. We're going to throw you over to the Sony press conference just as soon as it starts. And they are kicking things off with 21 smaller announcements, including 7 new games. But that showcase seems like a good place to reveal the release date for Dragon's Crown Pro for us.
Yeah, I think it's the smaller things. And then I think they say of all the, the aforementioned God of War, Detroit, Spider-Man stuff for the core show.
Just even thinking about how we're doing this pre-show, there's so many more things we could talk about.
Yeah.
Like we could talk about Destiny, we could talk about Red Dead Redemption.
I mean, that's the other thing.
PlayStation partnerships that we have.
I wanted to bring that up.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, that's what this fall has been about. Sony doesn't have a ton of first-party games this fall, and so they're hinging on Destiny 2 Sport.
Last one was GT Sport, right?
Yeah. Call of Duty Sport.
Sport,
and then we know that they're the official partners with Red Dead early next year, and so maybe we see something from a Battlefront expansion. Maybe we see something. It would be weird to show us the expansion before the game comes out, but we hear rumors that the Destiny expansion is coming out in December. We get a tease of it here.
There's probably going to be something third-party related. They spent all that money on partnering with these studios, so we'll probably see something. It's just like crazy that in my head we're going through all of these major things, and I'm like, we could see all of this. Like we can't. They don't have time. That's why PSX exists. It's like there's so much stuff. It's very exciting.
Yeah, but there should be some really big announcements this morning. Like we were saying, Sony says E3 was only half the story. So if E3 was Spider-Man, God of War, Detroit, Days Gone, Shadow of the Colossus,
Crash,
what's the other half? Is the other half release dates, or is the other half totally new things?
They can't show new things. You gotta get some of these out the door. You gotta get some of these out the door. I think it's gonna be extended gameplay of some of them and release
Maybe
dates.
that's what they mean by second half. It's like, we kind of showed you this, but here's the rest of this.
Hey, when Spider-Man put all of his webs on that helicopter, what do you think he did afterwards? He went home.
Here's the next 15 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, we're about 2 minutes out from the start of Sony's conference this morning. It should be a pretty lengthy show if they're spending an hour on some smaller announcements and then kicking off their conference proper. But stick with us after that. We'll be coming back to you for a breakdown, post-show analysis of all the big announcements and reveals. We've just about 2 minutes out. Give me some quick takes. What are you most hoping to see this morning?
Last of Us.
Last of Us Part 2.
Not convinced that it's totally going to happen, but that's what I really, really want to see is a little bit of gameplay from The Last of Us Part 2 and a God of War release date.
I totally agree with... I want at least 2 release dates for that pool of games, whether it's God of War in Detroit.
We need to know when we're playing things on PlayStation.
Totally, exactly. And I would personally love for Dreams to come back. I love Media Molecule so much. I would love to see that, and a little bit more Shadow of the Colossus, because again, that's one of my favorite games of all time. So.
But you've already played that game.
Yeah, but I want to see him stab the monster and then feel bad afterwards.
Spoilers.
It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. And of course, the pipe dream is that we do get a Bloodborne 2 or a From Software announcement, or the Sucker Punch IP that we've been waiting for so long. But
I at least want one thing that's announcement that's totally unexpected that I lose my mind over.
Golf Story.
Okami 2. Something like that that's just here you go.
HD is coming this December.
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh my God, don't say those things. You can't take that back.
It'd be really nice, though.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah.
I hope they don't spend it on numbers. Somebody shied away from the whole, look at this pie chart of how good we've done.
I mean, they have had bad conferences. I think the PlayStation Pro announcement conference was a bad one. That was not great because they showed us a bunch of... It was streams of things that supposedly look good in the room that none of us could see. It was just very weird. So
the last couple of E3s, though, have been bangers.
Oh, yeah,
they've had forward momentum, and it's just been beat after beat after beat. So I'm hoping they do the same thing here.
PSX last year was good as well, so yeah.
Had that baseball game.
They did. They had that baseball game. Yeah.
We're probably not going to see a baseball game here.
Probably not.
Yeah.
What about Call of Duty World War II is out this week?
Yeah. We know it's out this week. Again, it's in the same place as Battlefront, where they have that marketing deal with them, and so you think they would want to showcase what you get if you're a Sony fan, but
Yeah.
do you really want to do that before the game comes out?
The timing just seems so off.
All right, the conference is beginning. Stick with us afterwards.
We've got a huge show for you starting now. Welcome to PlayStation Live from Paris Games Week. We've got a big show for you here today. Lots to talk about. But first, I want to introduce our crew, starting with you. And you've got a very familiar face.
Really?
Yes.
Where have you seen me before?
Maybe the internet.
The internet?
Yes.
YouTube, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Well, you might have seen me on PlayStation Access. In my little YouTube cupboard. This is like, this is a real treat to be somewhere as glamorous as this. We've got like an actual desk. Lovely backdrop, like this has got all the bells and whistles. You know, we're not as big budget as this, are we? I've got my PlayStation Access partner in crime with me as well.
Why, hello, Holly.
The amazing
Hi.
Holly Bennett.
Yeah, they've also let me out of the cupboard
Yeah,
for a while. This is
they
really
have.
exciting that we're allowed to have such a fancy arena. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, myself and Rob team up with 3 others to make PlayStation Access, which is a YouTube channel. We're based in the UK, but we make content for everyone.
Yep.
And we literally cover everything from the world of PlayStation. We eat, sleep, and breathe PlayStation.
What's coming up next for PlayStation Access?
Well, anyone who follows me on Twitter probably knows I've just come back from Japan.
Secret things.
my.
Secret things.
But it is a secret, actually. We can't tell you just yet what we were working on, but very soon those videos will be going
It's going
live.
to be very exciting.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I like
Subscribe now. And
Please.
rounding out our host here, Mr. Ramon Russell, the heartthrob of San Diego studio. I'm so glad you could join us, bud.
I'm glad y'all could have us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Like Sid said, my name is Ramon Russell. I am from the MLB The Show development team back in San Diego. Speaking of them, shout out to everybody, all our development team back at home, cranking away on MLB The Show 18. We can't wait to tell you about it, but not today. Today, we're going to talk about all of this awesome content coming to PlayStation 4.
That's right. Now tell me a little bit about what you do with the MLB team. I know you do some streaming. Tell me a little bit about that.
Right, so I do a little bit of everything. Most of the people on our development teams, we wear many hats. I'm a game designer sometimes. Other times, I'm a community guy. And other times, I'm here in Paris with you guys on this stage, ready to see some really awesome content.
And really awesome content we are going to see starting any minute now. I want to tell you a little bit about what we've got lined up tonight. We're going to have 20 plus game updates. We're going to have 7 game reveals. And we are going to be covering a wide spectrum. That's AAA games. We're going to have independent, big ones. We're going to have DLC updates for major titles, big sequels, Final Fantasy updates. I mean, my goodness gracious. And then the PlayStation Media Showcase, and who knows what's going on there. That's just under an hour from now. We've got a lot to get to tonight, and I say, if it's okay with you guys, that we dive right in,
Yeah,
and
let's
we
get to
start
it.
off with a reveal. Now, this is a sequel to a game that a lot of people really love, and I want to show the first gameplay of that, and we're going to do that right now.
After 1,000 years, the mask of vengeance has manifested itself again. Who will protect the Mexiverse against the powers of evil? A hero with determination, who doesn't crack under pressure. With the statuesque poise of the old gods.
Mariachi loco!
baile el mariachi, pasito por aquí, pasito por allá, durito por delante, pasito por detrás. ¡Hey!
Guacamelee 2 kicking this off right. I love the first game. So excited to see the Drink Box is back with a sequel coming to PS4 soonish.
I love how precise they've been with the release date. Getting us really excited. Soonish.
There's a 99% chance it'll come out soonish.
Soonish. And we are going to see some more gameplay of that nowish. And this game is looking super, super polished.
You saved that one for you. Didn't show us that in rehearsal.
That's right.
I keep saving that one up.
I kept that in my back pocket. So this game is looking super polished, and what we're seeing here, I believe these are the dimensional waves, right?
Yeah, and they allow you to solve puzzles and traverse obstacles. And you can see there, like, there's some hazards in the red dimension, and he's safe in the blue one. It's going to add like a really interesting angle to the puzzling.
Now, if you played the original Guacamelee, you know it's got a robust combat system, and we're going to see a little bit of that here, juggling with those dimensional waves. But you know, the combat in this game is just so satisfying. You've got these luchador, you know, sort of pro wrestling moves mixed up with sort of beat 'em up combat, and that color palette, rounding it all out.
It looks gorgeous, doesn't it?
Look at that. It's even got me panicking now about like how much I'm gonna have to practice to get good at this.
And I remember I sucked badly at the first one.
Yeah.
I was not good at
Chicken.
it.
Okay, so
this is what we're here for.
This is what we're here for. The chicken is back and better than ever. And this chicken has seen a lot of refinement, a lot of new chicken mechanics on deck here for Guacamelee 2 coming to PS4. And
this is what they've been spending all their time on.
I mean, why not, right? Wouldn't you? So this chicken here is quite a tough customer. We're going to see that here in a second. But right now we're going to see a new ability unlocked by, I can only presume...
Oh, the Chicken Oracle.
Yeah.
Chicken Oracle.
I swear that is a fried chicken shop somewhere in South London.
If it's not, it certainly should be.
He's telling him, do not get turned into chicken nuggets today.
That's right.
Not today, son.
You're going to learn some new abilities.
Well, he isn't going to get turned into chicken nuggets
shot.
with this.
Chicken shot. This is a new ability here for the chicken. This chicken is really a can-do chicken. And this chicken shot, the chicken glide, we're seeing it all here. Now, this chicken shot is also useful in combat. So this chicken is a ferocious fighter. Crazy Guacamelee 2, I love that.
I mean, you would not want to mess with this chicken. Look at it go.
All chickens in video games are ferocious. I've learned that through my years of gaming.
A murderous force.
That's right.
Chickens are
This
nasty.
has got to be the most lethal looking chicken I've seen, though.
Seeing some first gameplay here at Guacamelee 2, and is this co-op? Is this co-op? I see.
Co-op.
So I do have it on good authority from Drinkbox that there is 4-player co-op throughout the entire game. We're seeing 3 of those 4 players right now, and this is the Mangrove Swamp level.
I can't wait for you guys to carry me.
Grappling hook mechanic here, looking great.
It really is.
Guacamelee 2. Wow, great start here for tonight. And you know something? Let's just keep going. I got 2 more announcements, and we're going to get to both of those right now. great new games we just got to look at. I got to say the Gardens Between looking awesome. It's got that art style. It's got the time mechanics. Holly, what do you make of that?
That is completely my type of game. I'm honestly taken with it. I have goosebumps every time that music drops. It's a beautiful single-player, narrative-driven puzzle game, but there's no time pressure on the puzzles, and I really like that. No text or dialogue. The world tells you the story. One button to interact. A lovely game to get into. Genuinely in love with it, and it comes out late 2018.
Nice. So the first trailer that we saw, that was the Hong Kong Massacre, developed by Bresky. Super stylistic trailer that looked insane. It had this like Max Payne, Hotline Miami, a little Blade Runner vibe. And you can expect that coming to the PlayStation 4 in 2018.
Outstanding. So we're going to keep moving here. We got a lot to get to, and frankly, we're running behind. So Loco Roco Remastered, it's out now on PS4. We know Loco Roco 2 Remastered's coming, and right now we're going to tell you when. That was Loco Roco 2 Remastered, and that's coming out December 9th, finally. Now we know. Holly, I know this is a big one for you.
Yeah, my bathroom is actually decorated with Loco Roco stickers.
She's not even joking.
I'm not joking. I loved both Loco Roco games. My PlayStation Portable, my PSP, played them non-stop. I love eating. And me and the Loco Roco games have that in common. If you've never played Loco Roco before, you play this lovely little creature, you roll around, you eat the flowers, you get bigger, you complete puzzles. Sometimes you have to be a certain size to be able to complete them. And you sing to wake up magical creatures. It's utterly charming. I basically love Loco Roco. So Loco Roco 2, there's going to be new collectibles, new characters. It's in 4K on PlayStation 4 Pro. And pre-order start today.
Outstanding. Nice. So, Holly, I know you're also a big fan of The Sims.
Yeah.
And I think we've got an update on that one.
Yes, we do. We know The Sims 4 is coming to PS4 in November. I'm, like you said, a huge fan. So we have a first look at the expansions that are coming soon. So I say we just check it out.
The Sims 4, it's coming out in November on PS4, and now I have a confession to make. I've actually never played a Sims game.
Are you for real?
Yes, 20 years almost.
Shame.
Shame.
Ring the bell.
I will say, I did get a chance to check it out on PS4. I spoke with the developer, and I think this might be the one for me. It's a time to dive in. So what they've done is they've basically tried to capture the entire Sims 4 experience from the PC, and instead of kind of reconstituting or boiling it down or doing something else with it, this is really the pure version, and it's been just reworked with the UI in mind. It's going to have a much easier UI than we've seen. It's going to have all the free updates that they've rolled out to the PC. So that's toddlers, you got your pools, your careers, and I have it on good authority that future PC free updates are also going to make the jump to PS4. So it's good to hear. Good stuff.
I think that's really exciting. I think what's really important here, it's not a reimagining, it's not reconstituted. I think I last played the Herbs on PS2, and those games weren't like traditional Sims games, and that's really what people want. So, as Sid said, exact same game, but with PS4 friendly UI. That's really what you want. And of course, it's launching with all the fan favorites like city living and vampires, etc.
Are you going to be cruel to your Sims, Holly?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it starts with about 3 hours of building a house, and then you just cruel to them for the rest of it.
and lock them in a room with a refrigerator and a door to get out.
Don't give my secrets away.
Yeah. So, hey, we're keeping a pretty quick pace on today's show, and we've got yet another game update to share with you right now. And, Rob, I got the sense you were kind of fired up for this one.
I am massively excited about this one. When I first heard this was coming out, I literally was jumping for joy.
And Rob doesn't jump for anything.
No, not for anything. So I believe we're going to have a little look at Tennis World Tour. Let's check out the trailer right now.
A new look at Tennis World Tour. It's coming to PS4 next year. Rob, thoughts?
I am super hyped for this.
Yeah.
Like, Holly can attest to this. I've been wanting a tennis game on PS4 for forever.
Yeah.
Like it's been way too long since we've had a good, proper, deep tennis sim. Like the last one I really got stuck into was a Topspin 4 on PS3. I played that so much I was one trophy away from platinuming it. And I understand some of the devs from Topspin 4 are working on Tennis World Tour.
That's true.
And there's going to be, I think they've got 30 licensed players so far. There's a full-on career mode, and it's really focused on the simulation of it as well. So if you're after that deep, really sim-heavy tennis game, this is going to be the one for you. I think MLB has got some competition now.
All right.
Simulation.
All right.
We'll fix this after the live stream.
Yeah. We'll handle this after we're done.
Well, the excitement is palpable, and I want to just take a quick status check, just take a moment to catch our breath here. PlayStation's media showcase here at Paris Games Week is just about 30 minutes away. So you know that's going to have some good stuff, and we're going to be cutting live to that right after this program. And we are running a bit behind. We've got a lot to get to. We've got a lot of announcements. We've got reveals, updates to share right here. And I want to kind of bring the conversation back to PlayStation VR because it's just celebrated its 1-year birthday.
Pembley Tapas.
That's right. More than 100 games out there for PlayStation VR. Tons more due for 2018. Ramon, what's your favorite PSVR game?
Resident Evil.
Yeah?
Scared the living crap out of me. I played the first few minutes regular on my television, then I popped on the PSVR. Completely different experience. I can't lie, I'm a scaredy cat, so I tried to get the shotgun and leave the house, but it didn't really work out.
Did you finish it?
We're not going to talk about that today.
It's all right, Rob didn't either, so
I didn't either. It's way too scary, but a game I really enjoyed, and I'm not even a massive Trekkie, but I really enjoyed playing Star Trek Bridge Crew. We played it in the PlayStation Access office, 4 of us all playing. Yeah. You each have like a different role on the bridge. Like I was the helmsman, Dave was the captain, and you have to really coordinate to achieve your objectives, and it's like the ultimate wish fulfillment if you're a Star Trek fan, being able to be in Star Trek. It was just a really immersive experience, exactly what PlayStation VR is good at. Amazing game.
You literally did nothing but squabble. It was a video of you squabbling.
Didn't.
Now, while you like to sit, quietly on the bridge, this is my jam. Give me a gun, give me giant alien spiders, and let me go to town on them. I really enjoyed Farpoint. I think as well it also had the aim controller. And I just had that feeling that if anyone should walk into a living room when I'm playing Farpoint, I might look slightly more badass while in my pajamas because I've at least got the aim controller. Played it in co-op as well, which just means you and a friend can bicker while you try and take on the aliens. It's everything I wanted.
Very exciting, but this is the highlight for me. This is super hot VR.
Look at me playing that.
Tiny Sid down there in the lower corner of your screen playing super hot VR. I loved it on PS4, but on PlayStation VR, just so immersive. Like we're all cackling like goons, as I do all of this. Like I'm blasting these guys. I'm throwing ashtrays at them. I'm throwing phones at them. Dual wielding here like some sort of John Woo movie. It's just a riot. I mean, it's just pure fun. So much fun. And that's sort of some of the highlights for PlayStation VR that are out now. Enough about me, enough about us and our favorites. It's time to take a look at the future of PlayStation VR because there's a lot of great games coming. We've got 2 of them to share with you right this minute, so let's check it out.
your heroes or take them on. Wealth and glory can be yours. Do you have what it takes?
That was 2 brand new games revealed for PlayStation VR, both scheduled for release in 2018. Now, looking at Bout of Blood, Rob, you're a Star Trek Bridge Crew fan. I kind of thought that might be kind of up your alley.
I mean, for me, that's what PlayStation VR is amazing at, letting you experience things that you're never going to experience anywhere else. And so, piloting a really high-tech airship in Bout of Blood, yes, that is probably right up my alley. Like, it's a really unique game as well. It's set in this kind of fantasy reality TV show. We've got other contestants or enemies, and you can betray them, or you can make allies with them. And also, it's procedurally generated as well. So every time you play Bout of Blood, you're going to be getting a completely new experience every time. But for me, it's just, you know, airships. Airships in VR. That's what it's about for me. Absolutely love it.
There's also Megalith. We got a quick look at that one, Ramon. What do you think of that?
So that was the first trailer that we saw. So Megalith is actually an action-packed shooter.
Yes, it's a hero shooter.
It's
Yes.
a hero shooter. So you're a Titan trying to become a giant god, has destructible environments, you get free locomotion. It's also coming out in 2018, and the development team behind it are full of multiplayer veterans, and they're excited about what they can do in VR, which also makes all of us excited, because with VR, you're going to have totally new experiences, loads of innovation, so we can't wait to see what everybody's going to do.
Absolutely, and one of the great things about PlayStation VR is new experiences, but also putting a fresh perspective on familiar ones. So in that note, let's take a look at Ultra Wings VR coming to PSVR. My goodness, I've got the vapors. I mean, what do you make of that, Holly?
I loved it. It reminded me of a manga I used to be really into called Air Gear, just because of the rollerblading. As a game, it's already had tons of press attention. The devs have said, no, you can comfortably run, jump, climb, and fly, because it's very action-packed on its obstacle courses. And they have something called fluid locomotion. That is what they're coining for this.
Fluid, indeed. And we also just checked out Ultra Wings VR. That's also coming to PlayStation VR. It's an open-world VR flight game. Lots of courses and challenges. Interesting that you use the PS moves to pilot the craft. Bunch of different crafts. They're saying 30 hours or so to get all the gold medals. So
that's
robust experience there. Keeping it moving on the PlayStation VR front. We actually do have an update to share right now around a favorite that was announced at E3. Now, if you watched the E3 PlayStation Media Showcase, you saw a quirky, delightful little game called Moss.
Yay!
And we're delighted to say that this one is actually coming out February 2018, so we can finally announce that. Ramon, you got a chance to play it.
Yes, I did. The developers at PolyArc were so kind to send me a build that I got to play last week. I'm loving this game. So you control this mouse. Her name is Quill. She got this little sword, this awesome little like leaf thing on her arm, which is kind of cool. And what's really awesome about this game is the fact that you're using the analog sticks to control Quill, but when you're doing the puzzles in 3D space, you're actually using the motion controller on the DualShock 4 to grab
So like
full
pull
things.
things back and
Yes,
Oh,
like
so
it's
you're
actually
grabbing that block there?
Yep.
Man, it looks amazing.
I'm really
So you get to
impressed
control
by
both the kind of the puzzles and Quill at the same time.
Exactly, at the exact same time. I really, really love this demo that they sent me. This game is going to be so awesome. I can't wait to play it. And it's a dungeon crawler with a little mouse.
It's a little tiny mouse named Quill. So cute. But yeah, I mean, this is one of the things I just love about VR is just new ways to interact. I mean, that's kind of, I think, deep down what we all look for in gaming, and something that PlayStation VR actually well positioned to provide.
Ooh, combat, right?
Here's a first look at some of the combat. So you see Quill's going to take care of these little red beagles. So what's awesome is with the DualShock, you can freeze some of the enemies.
So you're doing both?
You're doing both at the same time.
That's cool.
And does
I
it
like
feel
that.
like easy to do both at the same time?
Yeah, I didn't have trouble at all controlling Quill or some of the puzzles at the same time.
That's really nice.
Really nice
Pull those
stairs
steps up,
there.
turn them around, and control Quill to get her to run all the way up.
Oh man, I would have played this non-stop if they'd sent me that demo.
That's awesome. So this is coming out February 2018. Pre-order start very soon.
Wow.
That's right. Well, thank you for that hands-on report there, Ramon, on Moss. It's coming February 2018. Very excited about that one. Here's an update on another title that was announced for PlayStation VR at E3. That's Star Child. We've got a brand new trailer, and there's, well, I'll just leave it to the trailer. Let's check it out.
Hi everyone, I'm Paul Bettner. I'm the founder and CEO at Playful.
And I'm Kynan Pearson, the director of Star Child. Star Child is a cinematic platforming adventure game. You play as Spectra, a traveler who crash lands on an alien planet during an important mission.
You're about to see one of Spectra's unique abilities here today for the first time. We hope you enjoy this global debut of our new trailer.
Trailer for Star Child here. We just debuted, and I gotta admit, guys, I'm a little puzzled by this unique ability. Any ideas?
It's
Like, what was
left me
that?
with more like questions than I have
more questions
answers.
and answers in that.
It looked like she was projecting herself out of her body and manipulating, like maybe astral projection, I want to say.
It sounds good. All right.
Sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
Maybe telekinesis.
Maybe,
yeah.
yeah.
Something. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see, huh? So lots more to come here on the show, and we haven't even gotten to the PlayStation Media Showcase, by the way. So we are gonna have a big Final Fantasy update for you at home. We're gonna have a big update for more VR. We're gonna have more game announcements, and then of course that PlayStation Media Showcase that's coming really, really soon. I want to check back before we move on, though, on one of the year's biggest PlayStation VR titles.
Resi 7?
Yes.
Surely.
Resident Evil 7.
I mean,
Excited for
they don't
you,
come bigger than Resi 7 on VR, I don't think. And the exciting news is there is new free DLC for Resi 7 coming in December.
Free 99?
Free 99 is free. Even more exciting, it stars fan favorite Chris the Muscles Redfield. Everyone loves Chris Redfield. He's just, I mean, it's going to be an awesome new take on the Resi 7 formula, and it's entirely playable in VR again, just like the main Resi 7 game. Redfield is like an action hero, so it's going to give a really different spin on the gameplay to Resi 7, I think, and we can have a look at the trailer for the Not a Hero DLC right now.
Lucas, you'll pay for this.
You're going to fail, and then you are going to die.
Our only link to the connections.
He's next on my list.
We didn't get much from the first unit before we lost contact.
Luke is a fucking psycho. Not sure what's worse, him or those things. Oh, we gotta get out of here. Oh, fuck. You gotta be kidding me. Fuck! 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 Get the thing off me! Please tell me what I'm looking at.
I have no idea. It's something new. Exercise extreme caution.
Christopher, you're with us now, see? Very impressive, my friend. Very impressive. Let's just see how impressive you really are.
You're going to need to proceed with caution. Extreme caution.
Oh, well, that's different. Like I haven't been since we got here.
Resident Evil 7's free Not a Hero DLC. Rob, I know you're a big fan of Resident Evil. I mean, it's just one of the best of the year.
It is. I think it's in my top 3 of the year.
Yeah.
I spent the majority of Resident Evil 7 hiding and or running away from things. I think now I'm playing as Chris Redfield. I'm going to be punching stuff in the face.
Right in the face.
It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Now, Ramon, I'm told you're a big fan of Halloween.
I most certainly am. I love Halloween. And actually, we have 2 PSVR games launching in time for Halloween. Let's take a look at this spooky pair.
Now teach you the ways of our art.
Wildly different takes on the horror genre. I guess that's fair to say, right, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, Stifled looks absolutely terrifying. Also, like nothing I've ever seen either. From the trailer, it looks like you have to kind of make noise to paint a picture of the world around you, but at the same time, that noise could attract things that you don't quite want to be attracting.
Things that go bump in the night, maybe.
I think we should make Dave play it.
I think we should make Dave play it.
Absolutely love that game. If you're watching Dave, you're going to be playing Stifled very soon. Dead Hungry also looked awesome, though. Holly?
Dead hungry, as we've already learned through my love of Loco Roco, suits me just fine because I enjoy food. It's from Pixel Junk, so you know it's kind of going to be crazy. The idea is the zombies are really hungry, so you're making fast food and literally lobbing it at them to cure them, actually. We're not trying to kill them or harm the zombies, we're trying to make them better. It just looks like Pixel Junk madness. You can create different burgers by throwing things together. I'm in.
Throwing French fries at zombies.
Yeah, I'm sold.
So that's 2 PlayStation VR games coming out tomorrow in time for Halloween, which is awesome. There's another PlayStation VR game coming out very soon, League of War, and I believe we can see a trailer for that right now.
That was League of War. I'll tell you, those two look like they were having the time of their lives on that couch. I mean, they were all grins and smiles and horseplay. But is it RTS or tower defense or what is it, Ramon?
It's a little bit of both. So League of War, you can grab a tank, pick it up and drop it on the battlefield and watch it go and blow stuff up. And who doesn't want to do that? So it's going to have a really, really nice single player campaign, tons of different generals to choose from, and I really like the use of the social screen.
Very cool, very cool. So, is that it for PlayStation VR then?
No, because you promised.
Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right.
You promised me that I could talk about Monster of the Deep Final Fantasy 15. Unsurprising, I'm a massive Final Fantasy fan, and I'm really excited to get to show you a little bit more. I've got to play a bit of it, and I got to speak to Tabata-san recently as well with PlayStation Access.
So here it is.
Here it is. Now, before I talk about anything else, it is a standalone game, so you don't need to own 15. It's not DLC, it's a standalone game for PlayStation VR. So for anyone who's played the game, you'll recognize some of the locations, but I have been told there's some new ones as well, which is quite exciting because it's a beautiful world. Now, just like it is in 15, it feels quite similar to playing the fishing in 15, almost like, it sounds daft, but what the VR, would be for the fishing in 15. Different tackles, baits, different rods and lines, put them all together to create the right rods for catching different fish in different locations at different times.
Do they include a VR fish cleaning mini game?
Could you imagine? That would be, have you ever awful.
We've got chocobos now, Carl.
Look. Yeah, so anyone who played Final Fantasy 15's online beta for Comrades will recognize the character customization. It has incredible customization. Best RPG hair I have seen in a long time.
That's important.
You'd expect nothing less from Final Fantasy.
I'm a character customization connoisseur, Rob. You know this.
Yes, I do.
The hair is beautiful. It also features some of the characters you'll recognize from the game. You already saw Cindy. Now, when I spoke to Tabata-san, he told me that the whole team is in it, Ignis, Noctis, Gladio, Prompto, and it actually takes place within the Final Fantasy 15 game. It takes place quite early on. You're basically going out, you meet the guys, and they're like, hey, why don't you come fishing with us? You can come and camp with us as well. The character customization here is stunning. I think the biggest takeaway for this for me as a huge Final Fantasy fan is this VR game here put me into the world in a way that not even Final Fantasy 14 does. It really allows you. You're at the camp with the guys. You're able to steal food off Noctis's plate and he'd try and bat you away.
That was the coolest thing in Final Fantasy 15, the camping. So to be in that is going to be a massive wish fulfillment.
It really was. It gave me something that fanfiction.net has never been able to. It really put me into the world. But it gets better. I'm still allowed to talk about about Final Fantasy 15
Oh
for
my.
more.
There's more.
There is Final Fantasy 15 episode Ignis. We know it's on the way. He is best boy. Do not at me. It's not a discussion. But I'm really excited to be able to show a new trailer for that with some new details. And I can also reveal that the guest composer is Yasunori Matsuda of Chrono Trigger, which everyone knows. Final Fantasy and music go hand in hand. So I guess we should just get going. Please enjoy the Final Fantasy 15 Ignis trailer.
Listen well. A king cannot lead by standing still. A king pushes onward always, accepting the consequences and never looking back.
Thing from here. Let's make for the altar. Yeah.
Well, look who it is. What could one of His Majesty's royal retainers be doing here, of all places?
Bloody hell.
Join me. I can secure us a way to the king and the oracle. Love as you please.
Oh, what good is a world that only ever lets you down? Why not end it all right here?
I swore an oath to stand with Noct and keep him safe. Whatever it takes, I will protect him.
Permit me to make a suggestion. Rather than follow this flotsam and float away to a watery grave, why not come with me? What do you say?
And that was in Vector, actually a game that was announced right here at Paris Games Week about 2 years ago. Ramon, what did you make of that?
Very awesome game in a tradition of like amplitude, frequency, a little thumper in there. It's awesome, and it is coming to PS4.
Yes, it is.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm taking back over because that
all right, come on, all right.
Stop talking about Final Fantasy.
No, I'm allowed to talk about Final Fantasy. No, it looks incredible, and for anybody who knows, it takes place in Alticia. I don't want to give too much away, but anyone who's played that game, Chapter 9, right? Chapter 9. And it fills in basically what happens, and I don't know if you saw it, the ring? You put the ring on.
Let's not give away any spoilers. But we are finally going to get to find out, a big thing about Ignis' story that until now has been a complete mystery.
I mean,
so it's going to be awesome.
There's many, many people speculating on Tumblr, let's put it that way. So who knows?
I can only imagine, right? So, great show so far. I mean, I think we brought some significant updates here. Favorite moment, real quick to call it out?
The Hong Kong Massacre. That game looked insane. I can't wait to play that.
Yeah, what about you, Holly?
I think it was Gardens earlier on. Sorry, I've forgotten the full name of it. But yeah.
Gardens Between.
Between, that's the one.
That's
Thank
right.
you. So I know everyone thinks I'm going to say Final Fantasy, but Garden Between, I don't know. There's something about that. That's my jam. Good, personal, deep stories.
It looks beautiful. I mean, for me, it's got to be the tennis. Tennis World Tour.
Not surprised.
I keep going on about it, but I've been waiting for a really deep, good tennis game for so long. So to have Tennis World Tour coming is proper exciting, and I was massively hyped for that.
Got to say, for me, it's probably Guacamelee 2. Glad that we can get that out there. It's coming soonish. It looks gorgeous. It's got the 4-player co-op throughout the entire campaign. It's got enhanced chicken mechanics.
Chickens. I mean, the chicken is the highlight of the show, right? That's why everyone's here.
Finger licking good. I don't get in trouble for saying that. That's right. So, hey, we are almost out of time. That big PlayStation Media Showcase is right around the corner, and who's to say what's going to happen then? But we do still have 2 more games that we need to announce. So what do you guys think we should do about that?
I think we should announce them.
Should we?
Yes.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that's my grand plan.
So let's kick it off with the very first game we're going to be announcing, and we'll do that right now. First look at O-Ray. O-Ray, by the way, is how it's pronounced if you were wondering. Really just magnificent, gorgeous looking game, and it's actually coming out a little later today on PlayStation Store. O-Ray out today. There you go.
I'm saving that. Beautiful. I thought it was incredible to look at. I got real Journey, Abzu-esque vibes from it. It's totally, again, my kind of thing. I really believe with gaming, for me personally, I was very AAA only. I never really considered indie. And then I started adding that in, and I feel like I always compare it to having a balanced diet.
Yeah.
And it's like
a balanced gaming diet.
A balanced gaming diet. And these are the kind of games for me that balance it out. So in this particular game, you're exploring the world as a child that can turn into a dragon. You've already seen that in some of the B-roll.
That's an easy sell, isn't it?
I mean, it's really easy to sell. The idea is there are these titans within the world, and they have very important jobs, but for some reason they've stopped doing their job. So you're trying to convince them to basically go back to work, but by going through the world, solving puzzles, exploring. There are mysteries within the world for you to uncover as well. I think it's beautiful, and I'm so excited that it's actually going to be available today. You love the look of this, and you can pick it up.
Buy now. That's what I say.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely stunning.
What you said about Journey and Abzu is, I think, on point.
Really is.
Getting those kind of vibes from it.
I think it's just so nice to see games like this as well coming out. And if you're looking at this and you go, I don't play indies, I was the same as you. Please, just give one of them a go. Maybe you'll discover a whole new library of games. What's wrong with that, right?
Nothing wrong with it at all. I mean, that is beautiful. So, hey, that was O-Ray, and I gotta say, I think we had a lot to talk about here tonight. And I want to thank, actually, all the independent developers, all the publishers who worked with us to put this show together. It's an honor for us to be able to debut and your titles and to be able to provide all these meaningful updates and just exciting stuff all around. But I gotta say, that PlayStation Media Showcase is right around the corner. I want to make a shout out, though, to everyone watching live. We've got a lot more to come after the showcase. If the showcase ends, there's more to come. We're going to dive deeper into all those games that you saw at PlayStation Showcase, all the new stuff you see there. Excited, guys? You excited?
I mean, massively excited.
Yeah?
That's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
These moments where we all come together, that the audience is already in, you can feel the electricity. I already know from people watching at home as well.
Because we have absolutely no idea.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't know anything.
They keep it under lock and key here.
Yeah.
So it could be anything.
It's like a big sporting event. Like, it is the kind of nerves you feel, like, ready to see something epic and amazing.
And who knows? I mean, it's literally a couple of minutes from now, and we're going to be cutting to that live here in just a couple of minutes. But first, we do have one other thing we wanted to share with you. Now, this is one I've been dying to talk about all night long, but I've had to restrain. Not yet.
Well,
that's right.
You could talk about it now.
In just a handful of seconds from now, we're going to talk about and show first details on a brand new game that's from a independent studio, and it's a new title from a developer that's actually rather celebrated. So I would suggest that we cut to that now, and for all of you watching at home, enjoy the show.
traditions, your beliefs, which villages to tame and which to rule. So I'll ask you once again, Samurai, do you surrender?
Thank you for joining us tonight. It's now 5 years since we launched PlayStation 4, and I still have the honor to unveil a brand new AAA game, the astonishing Ghost of Tsushima from Sucker Punch. And you know what? That's not the last surprise that you're about to get. You've seen the power of PlayStation 4 provide you not only with immersive storytelling, but also allows developers to fulfill their wildest dreams. The great news is that these developers are now extracting more and more power from the machine with increasingly spectacular results. That's why a single creative mind like Toby Fox can deliver one of the year's biggest hits in Undertale. Why a small studio like Ninja Theory can take you on a thrilling personal journey with AAA production values in Hellblade. And our own worldwide studios can bring alive Horizon Zero Dawn's breathtaking wilderness in dynamic 4K resolution and HDR. Furthermore, you can expect innovative new dimensions in gameplay as we continue to explore the possibilities of virtual reality. The bottom line is that there is so much power and potential packed into PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro that innovation will continue to accelerate and proliferate in the coming months and years. With more than 225 games offering graphical enhancements on PlayStation 4 Pro and more than 100 games compatible with PlayStation VR, PlayStation is already the best place to play. As we will show you tonight, it's thrilling to think there's even more to come. While we continue to focus on bringing you the games you love, we're also focused on expanding the PlayStation community. We're excited about innovation like PlayLink, highly social, easy to play, localized and fun. We've been thrilled with the success of That's You, with over 3 million downloads to date, and see more social and family-orientated games give us an opportunity to expand our reach and amplify our mission to be the best place to play. The past 20 years have seen trends come and trends go. We're still here, stronger than ever, and well-positioned for the future. The ecosystem of today will be more powerful, more engaging, and more immersive tomorrow. The maturity of the gaming industry is an incredible asset to a dynamic and exciting future for PlayStation. Ultimately, words mean little. Action is everything, and the proof is in the journey into the extraordinary worlds of new titles and new experiences that you're about to enjoy. I think you'll agree that the best place to play just keeps getting better. So let's take a look at some of the most sought-after, exclusive content our industry has ever seen. to see what's biting, have you?
Don't take bad man for a joker. I don't wanna do man over, but I'm raw getting closer and closer. Get shit resolved, I'm quick, no glamoring clicks, just glamoring quick. My team won't quit, I'm a real bad man, I get a Batman hit. Rage, I'm coming for you. I get this resolved, I'm coming for you. Show no regrets, I'm coming for you. Don't try to fucking take no things. It was always like it. You wanted to be a legend is born. Better than best, it's ready for war.
PlayStation VR marks its first year in the market, it's really moving to see how development teams are starting to see the raw power of this game-changing technology. We're witnessing the birth of new styles of gaming, storytelling, and visceral experiences. The future of PlayStation VR is extremely bright, and we look forward to unveiling more in the near future. One of the consistent factors in our success over the 4 generations of consoles has been the unwavering support of our partners. We were delighted to feature a massive amount of indie and VR content in the pre-show, and now it's time to showcase 6 games, all of which offer features and benefits unique to PlayStation from some of our most valued partners, all of whom we've been working with from the very beginning. Let's start with a new trailer from our friends at Ubisoft.
Folks, it's a beautiful sunny weekend in Hope County. How will you be spending your time outdoors? Canadian's Gate is still causing trouble.
force. Go to Mercury and find Osiris. Time is not on our side.
to all our partners. It's a real privilege to have your titles on our platform. A key differentiator for PlayStation is its best-in-class development teams that make up Worldwide Studios. We have a great lineup of exclusive games coming soon, only on PlayStation 4. Let's take a look.
of them sound more dangerous than that.
Then do not drop your guard. Go.
To the left! Take that! Look out behind you! Nice! See ya! Above us! Wow! Amazing!
Follow me.
Yes, sir! That doesn't sound like a soul eater. What do you think it is?
We shall see, boy.
Hopefully, we've made one thing clear to you tonight. It's a great time to be a gamer. To close the show, let's have the first in-depth look at a much-anticipated and exclusive title. From everyone at PlayStation, thank you for your continued support. Good night.
wings.
touch that dial. Don't touch. Don't go anywhere. We've got
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sony's conference from Paris Games Week. I'm Damon Hatfield. I'm joined by Marty Sleva and Alana Pierce.
Yes.
And it's time to break down everything that Sony shared with us today. But first of all, Sony was promising a big show this week. They promised The second half of E3, they said E3 was only the first half. Did they deliver today? Did they?
Kind of literally, yeah.
Literally, and then it was like, here's more of the gameplay of these things that we showed.
Yeah.
So quite
Along
literally,
with the same dates. Also with, obviously, a ton of really cool reveals, a focus on indies, a focus on VR.
Spent an hour on some small... Spelunky 2.
Yeah.
Andrew and I are very excited about that. First, the Cliff Notes version. If somehow you found to our post show without watching the Sony conference today, Sony did announce one big new exclusive from, it's called Ghost of Tsushima. What's the
Sucker Punch.
From Sucker Punch.
Yeah, infamous and Sly Cooper fame.
Exactly. And it's some sort of a ninja game.
Yeah, it seems like an open world samurai game set in the 1200s with the Mongol Empire.
We didn't see a lot of gameplay there, so we don't really know what the game is. Based on it being Sucker Punch, everyone seems to be totally for it. But don't know exactly what it is.
That was the one big new exclusive, and then they gave us updates on a bunch of exclusives that we already knew about, and then there are certain games, some notable games that were totally absent from the show, like Days Gone, Death Stranding, Final Fantasy VII.
Dreams, wow.
But let's start with what Sony ended on, big game. The Last of Us Part 2, we got a brand new trailer for that.
So I have a feeling that if you were watching at home, you were a lot like us when you were like, we think this is The Last of Us. It could be Days Gone. It could also just be some new game that's an open world post-apocalyptic
in the rain. Uncharted DLC at a certain point. It was very hard to tell what it was. We sort of caught on that there was a Firefly reference when you said clip a wing.
Man, that was pretty intense. So they hit her in the arm with the hammer.
It was a brutal trailer, and of everything we know of The Last of Us Part 2, it's supposed to be a much darker version of the first game, which is already very, very dark. This is kind of about Ellie, which was like the beacon of innocence, becoming a darker character, and I think that's interesting. That said, this trailer didn't really change anything for me. It was brutal. It didn't show me the characters that I wanted to see. It showed just the clickers at the very end there, but for the most part, I feel kind of indifferent. I'm glad to see Last of Us. I'm very glad we saw it, but didn't really change my mind on it.
Yeah, we didn't get any details. I don't think this is a 2018 game. I think it's a 2019 game. That being said, I really do feel like this was a pretty effective tone piece.
Definitely, and it's beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. And it reminded me a lot of the when they revealed Uncharted: The Lost Legacy last year at PSX. They had this trailer where we were following Chloe, but she was wearing a hood. And so the whole time we were watching, we were like, oh, is this a new Tomb Raider game? Is this a new IP?
The start of this, it looked like a girl and a man dragging a body, and I was like, surely that's Ellie and Joel, but it wasn't. But you're right, this is a really good tone piece.
Not Ellie.
Definitely not Ellie.
Spoilers.
But also looks like an interesting extension of the universe and how chaotic it has gotten in this post-apocalyptic world, because it's further through now, right? So it's just complete anarchy, apparently.
Yeah, and especially when we last left Ellie, granted it wasn't as far along timeline-wise, was with Left Behind, and so we saw that event where she fell in love and then
she was still lovely back then.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really interested to see, obviously without spoiling it, there's that the ending of Last of Us 2 ends on a very interesting note, and so how Ellie has sort of grown as a woman after that, and if she learned that secret. And
from both of the things that we've seen of The Last of Us Part 2, I'm guessing that the world has hardened her a lot, and we're going to see a very different version of Ellie, and I think that is what this trailer is trying to convey as well. Is just the world has gotten very, very dark, and now I want to know how Ellie and Joel have adapted to that.
And if Joel's still alive.
Well, this is also a much more in-depth trailer. Because the first one was mostly just sort of like a tone piece, right?
Yeah, it was her playing a guitar on a couch, and then
blood dripping down her face, and she ends with saying something like, "I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill them all." But I feel like this doesn't give me that much more information. This trailer doesn't give me that much more information than that. I don't know where the characters that I care about or are invested in are in this world, but definitely gives us an idea that it's going to be messed up and probably really unpleasant.
Yeah, and it was
hammer pot.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it focused more on the sort of the depravity of man than. I mean, we got the clickers at the end, but
I also think kind of the politics of the world, the Firefly thing, seems to be a little more influenced here.
Yeah.
Well, as is the case with all of the big upcoming exclusives for PS4, we did not get a release date for The Last of Us Part 2.
We didn't even get a year, so
we didn't get a release window.
So it's not next year.
Yeah, I think that's a 2019 game.
You know what? There's enough 2018 games, which will.
There are.
Let's talk about that new big announcement, Ghosts of Tsushima.
Yeah. Looked really cool. I mean, we were saying in the pre-show, we were like, hey, one of the big new reveals we want is Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch is a developer that, between the Sly series and then the 3, I guess 4 if you count some of the spin-off Infamous games, they've been so synonymous with PlayStation. And seeing this, it was a really cool trailer. We didn't know what it was because we just opened up and we were like, oh, this is cool, pretty-looking samurai.
I wouldn't have even guessed that it was Sucker Punch, honestly. I had absolutely no idea what it was. It does look gorgeous. Don't know if this is in-engine.
Sure, yeah.
Probably not, but it does look really pretty, and it seems like a very different place to anywhere that their other games have been.
That's the really interesting thing. Is like it definitely. I think they said in the press release it is open world, so it joins stuff like Horizon, and I mean even Uncharted: The Lost Legacy has a bit of that. But Sony's really going heavily into open world. But this is a setting that like we don't get a lot of especially in like good AAA games. Like we get the Dynasty Warrior games and everything.
That's what I was going to say. Like at first I was like, oh, is this Dynasty Warriors?
Yeah, and then we had Neo earlier this year, but that was definitely more of a fantasy game because there was monsters and everything. But yeah, I mean, this looks really cool. This looks like a time period that movies and novels and everything have explored thoroughly, but games really haven't, especially this generation.
Yeah, this could deliver what people have been wanting from the Assassin's Creed series for a long time.
That's weird. They've been asking for Samurai for a long time.
That is really funny. Is that everyone's always like, where should Assassin's Creed go? It's like feudal Japan. And it's like, well, here you go.
They've said that a lot of times. Yeah. Again, don't know what this plays like, so I can't say if I'm excited for it or not. I just have to see gameplay to know, but it's a pretty trailer.
They're doing good horse assassinations. Well, they assassinate the man, and I guess the horse was just a byproduct.
Just a bystander, yeah.
I wonder if they're going to go for realism, or if there's going to be a fantasy element to it.
That definitely showcased realism, especially in the press release. They mentioned the Mongol invasion. But, I mean, they've never made something that's pure realism, because obviously Infamous has superpowers, and Sly Cooper has raccoons that steal things, which is, I guess, real.
Made three very different kinds of games. When you pile those together, like, that's a really interesting studio.
Yeah.
The history is kind of fascinating already.
Yeah, seems really cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that new Spider-Man trailer. A very different piece, a more solemn tone.
Yeah.
The big gameplay demo we got last summer, this summer.
Yeah.
Seemingly also a lot more about Peter Parker, because we know this is an interesting starting point for a game, is that it's basically after he's learned to be Spider-Man, so we don't have that same learning curve, and it's kind of about him being an adult or becoming an adult at the same time as playing through this game. So as someone who's read a bunch of Spider-Man comics, I'm really interested in this side of it as well.
Yeah.
And Peter's relationships with everyone else, and
one of the things we knew about at E3 is they said this is as much a story about Peter as it is about Spider-Man. But also that Peter's been Spider-Man for a while, so we're not going to see, unless it's like a flashback, him get bit or him have to learn his powers. Like, he knows his powers, and so
his uncle dying again.
Yeah, exactly.
We've seen it enough.
And so it is like he's a sort of grizzled veteran Spider-Man, and it seems like Miles Morales is going to play the role of that surrogate. Like, I have these powers. How do I do anything with them?
Yeah, I'm happy with the time that they chose for this, and this is really cool. Like, we haven't seen a lot of the big action set pieces. Obviously, we saw the helicopter thing in the demo was cool, but we haven't seen like this kind of stuff and how it impacts the world. And I'm now wondering how dynamic that is. Like, if there's an explosion, does it stay that way?
Sure. Yeah. If New York's getting wrecked, does it stay wrecked?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was also cool. I liked these indoor environments are so cool. This is assumedly Grand Central Station, and then we had earlier him walking through his gymnasium, and it just looks cool and looks different. And knowing, again, talking about Sucker Punch, like, Insomniac's pedigree is just as high with Sunset Overdrive and with the Ratchet & Clank series, so, like, I totally trust them.
I'm so excited for this game.
I wonder if we spend any time playing as Mary Jane.
Could do.
It looks like the camera was behind her shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like she was sort of like an Oracle character, which totally makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think it's negative, man. Yeah.
I don't see why we couldn't play as multiple characters in this, and it's also just like part of the seeing him in the school just makes me want like bully elements. Like, can I just go to a weird English class for a bit? Like, I love that kind of stuff.
But again, we were sort of joking about the dates. The date we got for this was just 2018.